Hey everyone, Neil here. Thanks for joining. I'd like to show a quick demonstration of a new feature that I'll be adding to our existing pipeline. Okay, this feature is about load balancers, specifically application load balancer in AWS. But before I start, I'd like to give a quick background of why I built this. So last year, our developers asked us if I'm from the DevOps team. So last year, the developers asked us if we can build a solution wherein their applications, like for example, web server, REST API server, Lambda function, etc. If we can build a solution which will protect incoming requests from outside. Yeah, we know, especially nowadays, like for the past maybe 5 years or even more, hackers is always very interested in hacking systems. So yeah, so here's a quick overview of our existing pipeline, and we are using an open source library written in Python, and yeah, this one. This has not been hasn't been updated for quite some time now, and the feature that the developers are requesting us does not exist here. So this library is used for deploying resources in Amazon cloud, and it uses Spinnaker to deploy it. All right, so it's a full CI/CD pipeline, continuous integration, continuous deployment. So So I started working on a code. So this before I discuss that code, I want to show or discuss about how the pipeline works. So user makes code changes to their project. Could be either a JavaScript, React.js, Apache deployment, Nginx deployment, Tomcat deployment, Gradle deployment, anything that you can think of. Our system, our tooling can support that. So developers makes changes to their project, submits a pull request, which gets reviewed by his peers, and then once it has been approved, the developer merges his pull request, and it gets pushed to the master. Gets merged to the master and gets pushed to the repository, which is this server. And there are different Git servers, like for example, GitHub, Bitbucket, GitLab, and some open source that are available out there. So we are using an in-house GitLab, and it's a very beautiful version control system. It does have a CI/CD support. So what it does is it gets all the updates from the user, and then we have server-side hooks, or we'll call it scripts, which will actually get parsed, and then it gets forwarded to another system, which I don't have to show it here now. But it's Jenkins. Jenkins does the CI, continuous integration, where it runs the script made by the user, and then it contains all the codes that will build their application, like for example a Node.js application, a React.js application, or a Tomcat application, and then it creates a bundle in a form of RPM file and gets stored into a central registry. It's on another server situated in Amazon. We also built it. And then, after the RPM has been stored in that central repository, the CD will be triggered, and that CD is actually the deployment. where the deployment happens, and it's done in Spinnaker. So the CD will, one of the process will download the artifact from that central repository or registry that I spoke earlier. It's in an RPM file, and then it's going to generate some infrastructure, like for example the security groups, the classic load balancer, and then the IAM users, IAM policy, and etc. And then at the very last stage of Spinnaker, it will deploy an EC2 instance running the web application of the user or the Tomcat application of the user, and then a new EC2 instance is built. So yeah, right now, like what I said earlier, the developers are requesting if we can provide a solution on how to protect their web applications from external malicious requests. All right. So the problem right now with classic load balancer, which is only supported right now by Formas, it does not support protection. Okay, it's not Formas' fault. It is the classic ELB. Classic ELB doesn't have a way to integrate with WAF. WAF is web application firewall. Let me open it. And this is the UI, the console for building web application firewall ACLs, access control list. And this one gets integrated with load balancers in the type of application. It does not support the classic ones, which our Spinnaker Formas deploys. So what I did is I started working on a project, and I made it in such a way that it will keep the structure of how Formas was actually written. All right, this is not the Formas code, but the structure, like what I said, I made it in such a way that it will be easy for me to just copy and paste all these codes into the Formas library. So yeah, I've been working on this for like 4 days now, and it is actually working quite well. I'm pretty sure I'm still missing something here, and as I keep on working on it, I'll be able to find some flaws. But right now, it's working well. What I'm currently doing is, let me open up a shell 3.7, because that's what Forma supports. I have to modify because this one is end of life. This Python version is end of life. Let's see to make sure it's in the correct one. Okay, that's good. And then I'm gonna export some Python warnings so that I won't be able to see like HTTPS warnings. All right. What else? So yeah, this tool or this library that I built is meant for deploying an application load balancer, as well as it will build a web ACL. Yeah, somewhere right here. Yeah, this one. It will create WAF, and once both are built, I will associate the web ACL with the load balancer. Yeah, this is the method that the Bodo3 library exposes. And yeah, there's many we can look. Let's see, Google. I like Google, using Google. And then Bodo3 Python, like web ACL. Let's see if I'll be able to. Okay, WAF version 2, yes. And then you'll see here all the methods that Bodo3 exposes. So that's what I did. I went here and then look at some methods that I need. So for example, create method, where is that? This is the attempting, okay? That's when it gets, because when you create web ACL, it doesn't get created right away. You have to wait. So that's why I had to do a for loop here. It does not, hopefully Amazon will create a waiter method like what they did with ELB. Like, I'll show it to you later. So create web ACL, it will be here. Yeah, so all I did is, I read the instructions here, or what it does, and then I just copied it and then made some changes to it until, this one was really confusing. Took me a while to get it working, okay? But I made it in such a way that it is dynamic. So let me open up the drawing again. So when a user makes code changes, actually, in the user's project, there is a configuration file called application master environment.json file. It contains the configuration of their application. So let me open up the one I'm using here, which is like a working example. So this is the file that the users have, and what I did here is I added 2 new properties that no developers doesn't know yet. Okay, I'll have to make a tutorial on how they will modify their application master. So LB type application, this does not exist in the format library. You won't see it here. Okay, application master is somewhere here. I remember seeing it here. Pipeline.json. Here. This is the one. You won't find LB type here in this project because this is a new one that I made. And then the other one that I added is web ACL. Okay, web ACL. It's also not found in the format. Like what I said, it hasn't moved for quite some time now. So then my code will read ELB, LB type, and ELB web ACL. It's somewhere in the initialization of the class. So ELB web ACL, the manage rules. There you go, manage rules property. It's right here. And then the LB type is also here. And then somewhere below, I added an if condition. If condition doesn't, it's not populated, then it will continue deploying a classic load balancer. But if it exists, if that property exists, it will deploy an application load balancer. So all this code that you see here are meant for deploying an application load balancer. So that's the summary of the code I wrote. So let's get started now. One more. I'd like to show you, like for example, the EC2 instance, because what I'm trying to do is add a load balancer for an existing EC2 instance. Okay, let us go to auto scaling group. And then there's an auto scaling group that I built a few days ago. This one. And then this one has tag. It has a tag app group and app name, web suite and engineering. Tags are meant for filtering and searching for resources in your cloud, in your account. Okay, so I'll be using this, and this one is currently deploying an EC2 instance. So let's go back to EC2 instance. We will see here, there you go, website engineering. It's just a very plain web server, and all it does is serve hello world on a web page. And load balancers, my code, this is the LB name. It will deploy a load balancer name using the app name and app group that I will be supplying. And I have here in my Unix history. There you go. So websuit is the tag, and engineering is another tag, and then they will be combined with a suffix of ALB-MZ, and you'll see it here once our code is complete. Yeah, right now we don't see it here. And then WebACL, if you recall, it's empty, right? So you know what? Let's get started now. I'd like to show the demo. Okay, so it's gonna run. It's gonna use my profile AWS devs. I was connected to it a few minutes ago, and I created a profile named AWS DevOps, and I'm passing it, and it's being parsed right here in Runner. Yeah, right here. I'm using arg parse library to parse all the parameters that I'm passing. So let's go back here. Yeah, so what it did is it created a load balancer, but why are we seeing a temp one? Because when you create a load balancer, it doesn't get created right away. And the reason why it's doing this is because I'm trying to modify the load balancer and adding a security group. Okay, so you'll see here it's provisioning, and roughly it takes about maybe 2 minutes and 15 seconds before the load balancer is finally created. Yeah, so while we're waiting, I'd like to, yeah, this one, see, January 10th, it's been built a long time ago. And let's open up one. And I'd like to show the integrations part. So this one, AWS WAF. So that's the beauty of application load balancer type. It can be integrated with WAF, okay? So what is WAF? Web Application Firewall. It will create, it's used for kind of like a protection. It is a protection, and you can create several or enable some rules. Yeah, let's see. Cloud metric name, add AWS resource. I just want to show next. I'd like to show, yeah, this one, this rules. These rules will be coming from the new block that I added. Yeah, this one. These are created by Amazon, but I made it in such a way where users can also create their own rules. If let's say they want to block admin login, they can do that. Admin edit, it can only allow from certain subnets, like this subnet here. So I did that too. Okay, yeah, the load balancer is completed, so I'll explain it later. So going back here, click add rules, add manage rules, and then we will see here examples of rules that Amazon created. Some comes with a fee, and these are the ones that I'm adding. And I only pick 5, but there are more that users can put. And you have to pick the right rules, because you don't want to use like a random protection. If let's say you are trying to protect a Tomcat server, and then you're running a SQL, that doesn't make any sense, right? It's a useless rule. So you have to know what application you're running. So yeah, these are mapped to a specific like a string, like core rule sets. Yeah, that's how they named it. Okay, and then anyways, let's exit out because I want to explain now this one. All right, so let's go back here. Like what I was saying, ELB was so it took like 10 attempts before the load balancer is finally ready. And then it created a target group. Target group will target the EC2 instance. It's gonna forward whatever traffic that we assign it to. And in this case, let's go up here. This one, it will forward it to port 80, port 443, and some IP address that will only allow from that from IP address SSH. Okay, and and then it will create the security group for the ingress. And then after that, next thing is it's going to register the EC2 instance, and then register the EC2 instance with the ALB. All right, and then lastly, it will create the WAF. Yeah, right here, it created the WAF, Web Application Firewall ACL, and then it will associate the WAF to the load balancer. Yeah, right here, and then it completed. So right here, I didn't use any tool like the Spinnaker or Formas, because we are eventually going to decommission Spinnaker. So hopefully next year. Let me cancel here so that I can show you. There you go. Now it is created. The web ACL is created, and as well as the load balancer. Let's refresh this page. And then you'll see here, like what I mentioned earlier. So there you go. That's a new one. Web Suite Engineering ALB MZ. That came from the command I pass. Yeah, right here, app name, and then it concatenates them, and then based on the type of resource, I'm putting their ALB, and then this one is Web ACL. So that we'll be able to easily figure out what resource we made. So what else? Web Suite Engineering, and then integrations. If you recall earlier, integrations was actually for the other application load balancer. This was no integration detected, but see, it's integrated. And then here, and then we will see also the rules that we created. Yeah, right here. And then that will be found in, when you open it. So it will be under rules. Those are the rules that I created. Yeah, 100, 200. Okay. And then I believe priority is what will be called first. How it will parse the incoming malicious requests. Not all will be malicious though. There will be valid requests, API requests. And for the association, it is found in this tab. We will see here the new application load balancer. So yeah, so there you go. Earlier it was empty, right? So this code that I wrote will build everything from scratch, which is really nice. And all the developers has to do is to modify their application master file and add this line and also this block. And then they can make their own block again, like what I said earlier, and it will be added to the rules. Yeah, right here, add rules, and then add my own rules and groups. Okay, so now you'll ask me, oh, does it really work? Yeah, let's see. So let's go back to the top and then go to the DNS name. All right, I'm gonna copy this, and like what I said earlier, the EC2 instance that is that what the EC2 instance does is just serve a hello world. All right, so yep, there you go, hello world. Okay, so it works. So again, yeah, look what it does. Yeah, it does everything automatically. I really like it. Yep, so I'm pretty sure our developers will be very happy about this. And yeah, I like it a lot. And it's ready. And then I have a demo on in mid-January next year. Alrighty guys, that's all I wanted to share. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. Thank you.